Okay, thank you so much for staying tuned in to Good Day
GA.
Giving godly advice, glorifying Jesus Christ.
That's right.
We're your hosts, Jennifer and Thomas Stearns. And we're just going to get back. I want to finish this story about what happened.
What had happened was...
So we had this conversation about one too many times for me. And I really was pushing you away. But I couldn't see that. I just wanted to put it, for lack of a better term, I wanted to put you on lockdown, okay? Because I could not lock you down like I locked down other brothers in the past because you wasn't having sex, okay? So I had to find a way. You was unlockable. I was like, man, come on. Give me something. So I'm like, okay, look. So, you know that term, cut off your nose to spite your face? I was to the point where I like, look, I got to hold on to some pride. And I basically, we had a conversation where I told you that I never had to beg no man to be with me, to commit to me, and you know, you can keep it moving.
Yep, she kicked me out.
Yeah, I said you can, because when we first got together, I had given you a key to my place because I was working and I was out of the house all day.
And I was not.
And you were not. So I said,
I needed a place to go.
I said, you don't have to stay at Big Mama's all day. You can come over to my place. You can use my computer. I know you're doing your job search and all of that. So he was not living with me. He was not staying over.
Nope.
Let's not get it twisted. But he did have a key. So he'd go in and go out. You know, I thought that was a nice thing to do. But that particular day, I said, you know what? You can give me back my key.
But I see it all through that because you give me the key trying to you know, keep me at one place.
Okay.
I knew what you was doing, but I didn't mind you doing it either.
You didn't mind, okay.
Yep, because the snacks were free, brothers. The snacks were free.
Lord. Okay. Anyway. So at that point I said, you know what, I had enough of this because here I am cooking for you every night, and you know, I'm thinking I'm playing the role of, you know, your wife, and you were still undecided. So, you know, I'm listening to Beyonce talking about, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it, you know? So I said, okay, but this is what happened. I think I was good for about one day. I was good for about one day. Baby girl, my daughter, went to stay with her dad for the weekend. Ladies, I lost it. I mean, I lost it. I realized what I had done. I pushed away the only good thing in my life. Because remember, I'm still in a disfellowship state. I'm not in contact with my family. I'm not in contact with any friends I grew up with. It was just me and baby girl. Now, baby girl's with her dad for the whole weekend. Normally, Thomas and I would be together. We were inseparable. And I had pushed him away. I was successful at pushing him away. I got so depressed. All that depression that had left me came back full force. I was crying. I was upset. And I said a prayer. I said, Lord, if you don't want me to take my life right now, because I have successfully pushed away every good thing to me. I don't even think I'm a good mother at this point. I was still kind of vacillating about whether God is mad at me or not. I wasn't real sure about that either. And I said, Lord, if you don't want me to take my life, please tell me right now. This is a good time for me to hear from you. Even though I never heard from you before, this is a good time. And I sat there and I listened with my physical ears and I heard absolutely nothing. So I thought that was a confirmation. I might as well just throw in a towel. I went into the other room. I had about 3 bottles left of muscle relaxers, Xanax, all kinds of pills that I hadn't taken over the years. I had about 90 pills. And I never had a problem with taking pills. I just threw them back. I had some wine. I washed it down with some wine. And, you know, I wrote in the process, I was writing letters to everyone in my family, including my daughter. And I had all their pictures out in front of me. It was such a sad, pitiful scene. I had pictures out in front of me. I had my letters labeled. I was very organized, even in my suicide. And I'm sitting there feeling myself slip away. Like I literally was feeling myself. I wasn't just going to sleep. I was feeling myself die from all these pills. Now, this is my second suicide attempt. Okay, so I knew how to do it. I messed up the first time, obviously. The second time I said, I'm gonna get this right, because see, if I had taking all those pills and was rushed to the hospital immediately, then they would give me a charcoal solution. I knew this from the last time that would absorb those things in my system. But I knew this time that I was going to be alone the entire weekend because I had taken back your key and my daughter was over her father's house for the weekend. This was Friday. So I took all that medicine. I felt myself slip away. The last thing I saw was my family and the letters. I was feeling good and pitiful, and I thought I died at that point. Somehow, and it's only by the grace of God that I had presence enough of mind to either call you or
text
you somehow. I don't even really remember. It was just a haze. And somehow you got in. And all I know is I ended up at the hospital. The doctor said, how much did you take? What did you take? And they're looking at each other like, and when did you take it? Now, this was the next day. So that all that stuff had absorbed. I should not have been alive. They said, what you took should have killed you about twice. And yet here I am alive. So they took me to the psych ward at our local hospital, okay? When I woke up the next day, I was still groggy for a whole day. Let me stay in my room for the whole day. By the second day, clarity was starting to come back. And I started looking around and I saw where I was, okay? It was some real crazy people up in that place. And I said, you know what? This is not where I'm supposed to be. But as I awakened that day, I literally heard the voice of the Lord in my spirit say, your pain has a purpose. Your pain has a purpose. I saved you so that you could live out your purpose for me and live for me, not for Thomas, for me. And as he was speaking to my spirit, I was like, wait a minute. Not only, and at that point, that's when I gave my life to Christ. It was not at an altar, at the altar at church. It was at that moment when I realized that, number one, God physically saved my life. I should have been dead, okay?
Sure enough.
So I said, Lord, I will do whatever it is that you want me to do. At that time, before we met, and right as we met, I was a spoken word artist. He gave me a piece to share in the very next group session at the psych ward there. And when I shared those anointed words, I saw people who were catatonic wake up. Like I saw people who were catatonic come to, snap out of their haze, and as I finished, they were clapping their hands with tears running down their eyes and saying, "Oh, I like that part." And that's when I knew that I was anointed to be God's mouthpiece. He told me that I was going to be His mouthpiece.
Wow.
This man stayed by me even when I was looking a mess, talking stuff, no makeup, hair all over my head with a hospital gown on. He still came to visit me. And when he came to visit me, he said, do you remember what you said? You said, I'm still going to be your friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew I had no friends. And I said, you know what? I'm good with that. I'll take your friendship.
Yep.
When I walked out of there, that was the best, sunniest day I had ever seen. I had been in there for 4 days. It felt like a jail sentence. It felt like 40 years. I walked out, the air smelled sweeter, the sun was brighter, and I was so focused on Christ. And I did something. I said, honey, this friendship ring that you gave me, I'm gonna give this back to you. We're still friends, but every time I look at that friendship ring, I want it to be an engagement ring, and I want to be engaged to Christ right now. I want to focus on Him.
And
I want to say,
well, let me just stop you right there, and let me just interject this: that the day that you had you was let loose was my birthday.
Yes. Oh yeah. How about that?
She walked out on my birthday out of the psych ward. 1 year later, to the day we got married.
That's right.
So we'll talk about that on our next show.
And everything that transpired in between there.
Amen. So we just thank you so very much for listening to our show. We are just elated to be able to tell you our story.
That's right.
But also have meaning behind the story and show you how God worked through us.
That's right.
Two people broken, busted, and disgusted. And God is doing a thing in our lives. The same thing He does in our lives, He can do in your life.
That's right.
It's never
too late.
Right. He doesn't look at people as this person is special or that person is special.
That's right.
We're all God's children.
That's right. And he will use everything that you went through, he will use it for his glory if you give it to him.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. So,
all right. So we just thank you for joining us on Good Day GA. Be sure to tune back in every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we give you godly advice glorifying Jesus Christ.
Amen.